Hello, everyone. I want to give you an update as to where we are in relation to the coronavirus situation and our meeting again in the church. First, the church building. First, let me apologize to you for not communicating perhaps as much as I should have about these things during this time in these past few months. I'm sorry if it made you feel like you didn't know what was going on. That was not my intention, so hopefully today I can correct some of that. This has been a very difficult time for many of us in our church. Obviously, as a church family, it's very difficult for us to be apart, to be away from each other, and so it's been hard for us in that way as a church. But let me also say that there's been some positive that's happened during this time. We now have shifted a lot of our ministry, well, all of our ministry, just about to that which is online, on the internet. And we have seen an increase in our ministry, our reach, because of being online in this greater way. I now have the opportunity to speak to you directly every day, which is something I never had that opportunity to do before. And not only does our daily devotional, but our online Sunday program is reaching out to people that have not been a part of our church before. And we are actually having people from other countries who are watching this as well. So that's a positive during this negative time. Now, we may have different perspectives on this virus and its effects, and so that makes it difficult sometimes for us to agree on the best procedure for how to come together in dealing with it. But there's a couple of things that I have kept in mind with our church as I have thought about this situation. Number one is that the high-risk group for this virus is senior citizens. Our church has a lot of senior citizens, so we have to keep in mind that we have to keep those people safe in our church. We also have to think about how this virus affects other people, not just ourselves. Philippians 2:3 says that we are to value others above ourselves. Now, even though we may not be concerned about ourselves catching the virus, we have to be concerned about passing along to someone else. My personal perspective on this is that when I think of this virus, I have to think of my son, Brandon. Brandon has a lowered immune system, therefore he is in extremely high risk concerning this virus. And we have to be concerned, my wife and I, about catching it and passing it on to him. And everything we have read suggests that if he got this virus, that it would take his life. And so that's what we have to keep in mind as we're thinking about this in our own family. We have to be extra careful not to catch it. Yes, our church has moved slowly towards having a worship service in the building, but I can name other churches in our area that are still worshiping outside as well. This time has been a physical reminder to me that our mission as a church is to go out. We are to be Christ's witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. We are to go and make disciples. And we enjoy our beautiful building, and our mission, though, is to reach out to people. And this, I think, has been a good reminder of that. But our desire is to have services in the building at some point. But we want to do that safely. We want to have other ministries in the church building. While many have enjoyed the drive-in service, I know some of you have said that to me, you've enjoyed it a lot, that's only meant to be temporary. That's not going to last forever. You're not having those in the winter. I mean, just not going to do it. Youth group and laughs have just recently started meeting again in our church, but they're not in the building, they're outside. So here's what we need from you. We need you to fill out a survey that we are sending out on Wednesday, which when I'm taping this is tomorrow. And it's got some questions that we need you to give us input into, so that we can have some guidance as we take our next steps in the process. Please keep in mind that, as with all of the other churches that I am aware of, there will need to be some restrictions for safety once we move back into having a church service in the building. The Christian Ed Board is already working on what the safety guidelines are for children's ministry, so keep that in mind. There will have to be some of that as we move into the building. I've read countless descriptions of other churches and what they have done as they have moved back into their building. So again, thank you again for understanding. I apologize for not communicating as much as I should have, but please feel free to communicate with me or any of the church leadership to give us input, any concerns, any thoughts that you might have. But really pray for us as we seek God's wisdom in knowing what it is that He would have us to do as we move ahead. So thank you. I love you and look forward to seeing you soon.